Pass Around the Smile is like your go-to friend, the one that lifts you up and backs you till the end. She's there to guide and inspire, challenge and teach, and remind you that your best self isn't out of reach. Self-development, manifestation, self-love and more, it's time to trust the process more than ever before. Welcome to Pass Around the Smile, the podcast. I'm your host, Cleo Massey, and I am so glad you're here. Let the magic begin. Hello and welcome back to the Pass Around the Smile podcast. I, as always, am very excited about this episode. It's a really good one and I want it to feel really not just inspiring, but I want you to feel heard and seen, because I feel like we're all feeling a bit of a similar collective energy coming into the start of January, and it's not just an inspiring and motivating energy that we're all feeling. I actually think that a lot of us are feeling a little bit confused, a little bit negative, a little bit unmotivated when we want to feel the opposite. So I really hope this episode is going to help you feel all of the good feelings. Before we jump in, I am very excited to have a little quick chat about our sponsor today, because she is beautiful, she is motivated, and she is a very inspiring human herself. Her name is Brittany, and she is the founder of With Purpose Fitness and Confidence Coaching. Now, the reason why I'm excited about this sponsor is that when it comes to life coaches, fitness coaches, I feel like you always want a recommendation. Now, while I haven't been a client of Brittany's myself, I have been working with her over the last couple of months because we are doing an event together actually in a week or two, and I can vouch for her really practicing what she preaches. She lives a life that she teaches and guides her clients to live herself, and she is her life is a result of her hard work, not just hard work physically, but hard work mentally. Can work with Brittany or some of her coaches if you are in Australia. If you are overseas and you love the sound of Brittany, she is someone very positive to follow online. There is so much that you can get out of her by just literally following her on Instagram. So I will pop all of her details in the show notes, but I want to read this little bio to you. And if this is something that you are feeling like you need, or this is like, oh my God, I was meant to hear about Brittany, I was meant to hear about this, like what she teaches and preaches, then maybe this is for you. Maybe she is for you. Okay, so Brittany is an online coach and the founder, as I said, of With Purpose Fitness and Confidence Training. She works primarily with those who want to feel strong, confidence, and at peace with food and their bodies without falling into restriction, burnout, or all or nothing cycles. Love that. Her coaching focuses on training that fits real life, nutrition education and sustainable habits, mindset and confidence building, and accountability and support. Brittany helps her humans break out of dieting patterns, emotional eating cycles, and the constant feeling of starting over. Instead of quick fixes, she teaches them how to fuel their bodies properly, train with intention, and build routines they can actually maintain long term. A big part of what Brittany does is helping people rebuild trust in themselves. It's not about fat loss or aesthetics. It's about confidence, consistency, and learning how to show up for yourself even when life is busy or messy. Brittany offers heaps of different coaching levels depending on support needs, and everything is done online, so clients are supported daily, not just handed a plan and left to figure it out. So thank you, Brittany, for sponsoring this episode. All right, it's 2026. Oh my gosh, a year feels like 3 months, and it's just not sitting well with me. And I know this is my own fault, and if it feels the same for you, it's your own fault as well, because we just don't stop. Like, we're so busy, and I think sometimes that can be good. It's because we're so excited and we want to do all these things. We want to fill our days with feeling excited and seeing this person because we love them, and talking to that person because we want to talk to them, and doing this experience and whatever. I get it, but also there's a lesson within this podcast episode. as to why maybe that might not be the way to go in 2026. So I haven't actually worked out the title of this episode as I'm recording now. I have come up with the 5 steps, but you will have read the title. This is around 5 steps to becoming like the best, most magnetic version of you in 2026. And the most exciting thing about this is that yes, you have the power to make these changes. You can make them right at this moment. It is the moment that you decide to make a change where your outer reality will simply just change. Because when your inner reality changes, when your like inner kind of your thoughts, your dreams, your desires, when your breath changes, your outlook changes. When your outlook changes, when your perception changes, your external reality is a mirror and will change accordingly. And this can happen so quickly, which is why it is so bloody exciting, guys. It is so exciting. So I am recording this, I believe it's the 6th of January. It is a Tuesday. I put a little poll out last night or this morning, I can't even remember, on my Pass Around the Smile Instagram being like, how is everybody feeling? I had 3 options. I had a really quite flat, unmotivated and sad option. I had a feeling quite confused and lacking clarity option. And then I had a feeling really motivated, excited and inspired option. Now, there was just over 30% of votes for each. And I also got a few messages back from people being like, I'm literally feeling all of these things at once and I'm feeling quite overwhelmed by that, like by feeling so many things all at once. I think there's a lot of pressure coming into a new year where we want to feel so clear and on purpose and motivated, gaining that momentum right away. And I will admit, I'm one of those people who like to feel like that. I think I really want to make some changes for next year. And I think I'll reflect this in my next New Year course in that come the 1st of January, where most of us are still on holidays, but there's this pressure that you want to start getting sorted again, getting back into routine, whether that is setting alarms and exercising and eating better, or whether that is, I don't know, getting back into your study or work, and some of us maybe have to go to work and have to get back into study. I get all of that. But I think there should never be this pressure that by a certain date you have to have all of your life together, because that is unnecessary pressure. And it creates a lot of tension and a lot of forceful energy within your body, your mind, your soul. And of course, that controls our vibration, which then controls our reality. So I feel like I'm going to make some changes next year, because what that did for me this year is didn't allow me to fully relax and enjoy the first 5 days of January, because I was kind of like, oh, I should be like not relaxing as much. I should be getting my shit together. I should be doing that. I should be doing this. But the reality was, me, my husband and my daughter, we were still on holiday. And yeah. And the reason I put that poll out was because yesterday something happened where I was really, really sad and disappointed. And it was like the first day of my cycle and I was just all over the place. I was feeling literally every one of those emotions that I mentioned before. I was unmotivated, I was sad, I was disappointed, but then I was also lacking clarity. And then I was feeling annoyed with myself that I could feel all of these things so soon in the year. And then the thoughts kind of came over me that like, oh my gosh, I'm wrecking 2026 because this is how I'm feeling. Like I'm setting the tone for 2026 and this is how I'm feeling. And then started overthinking it and spiraling. But this is what stemmed all of these thoughts for today's episode. So we'll get right into it. Step 1, your mindset is everything, so treat it like it is. So when something is everything to you, right, you give it a lot of your time, a lot of your love, and a lot of your energy. Your mindset is so important, and it should be the very foundation it is the very foundation to living a happy life. So it should be your number one. It should be your everything. But we often put so many other things first. But your mindset, right? What is in your subconscious mind literally dictates the vibration of your body. Your vibration influences who and what you bring in, right? It's the law of attraction. It's manifestation at its finest. How your vibration is, how you are feeling emotionally, what you are putting out literally dictates what you get back, whether that's in human form, whether it's money, whether it's opportunities. Your subconscious mind has the power to dictate what it is that not only you are bringing in and attracting, but also things like your subconscious mind dictates how you react, like your reactions to people. So if someone does something that really annoys you, your subconscious mind is like a playback machine that is telling your body how to respond. So if your subconscious mind is feeling calm and positive, you are going to respond to your boss or your partner or your baby in a much calmer, positive, more optimistic way, versus if your subconscious mind is feeling restrained, angry, looking for all of the things that are going wrong. Your body is going to be vibrating low. Therefore, that vibration is going to come out in a way that, matches that vibration, which is low, angry, quick-tempered. So your mindset is everything because, as I said, it dictates exactly who and what you bring in. So how do we put our mindset at the forefront of our needs, right? Luke and I, if you're new here, Luke is my husband. We did the balance activity, which was day 2 of my New Year course. By the way, the New Year course, I'll link it in the show notes if you want to do it. It's still there and you can do it anytime in January or February. We did the balance exercise and wow, was it enlightening. It allowed me to see how important things were to me versus how much energy, time, and love I was actually giving to that thing. And one of the biggest inconsistencies for me personally was that my mindset was like 10 out of 10 important, but in 2025, I gave it a 3 out of 10 for the time, love, and energy that I gave it. So what I realized I needed to do was lessen other areas like maybe social life, for example, or I don't know, I can't really remember. But I realized that I needed to give my mindset so much more love, time, and energy. And I know that the product, the result of giving my mindset more time, love, and energy is so huge, so big, and so free-flowing. It just flows one on from another. Because if you think about it, if your mindset is strong, if you are feeling peaceful, clear, and if you believe something, right, you are going to bring that thing into your physical reality, right? Imagine that good thing, that piece of good news, that amount of money, that beautiful person, that exciting opportunity coming into your life. What flows on from that? More happiness, expecting more good things, self-worth, self-love, like those feelings of excitement. Your vibration is rising. It has such a flow-on effect, not only for you individually, but for the people around you that you love. Your mindset is everything. So for you, how can you better your mindset? How can you clear your subconscious mind? Now, I'm not talking about your conscious mind here. I'm talking about your subconscious mind. Now, your conscious mind, right? You might go to yoga once a week and you might prioritize saying some mantras here and there in your week as well. And let's say you go, that's enough. That's me prioritizing your mindset. But if mindset is everything, if your mindset is the foundation to living a happy and free-flowing life, is one yoga class and saying a few mantras here and there enough? And is that saying I am giving my mindset everything? Now, we are all different. We are all going to give our mindset a different amount of love, time, and energy. I totally get that. However, I think we can all agree that that probably isn't enough for something that we are going to value as our everything, as really, really important. What a yoga class a week and some mantras here and there might do is it might help your conscious mind stay on top of being positive and a little bit more optimistic. But it's not our conscious mind that dictates our reality, it's our subconscious mind. To get access to our subconscious mind, we need to go deeper. We need to do things consistently. Now, our subconscious mind holds the limiting beliefs, the fears, the stories that we have told ourselves for a very, very, very long time. That's why these fears fears, these limiting beliefs, and these stories can seem and feel attached to us, but they are not attached to us. We are not attached to the negativity. Our life doesn't have to be dictated by these thoughts forever. We can detach from them, and it might seem hard because they feel like they are a part of you, but science literally proves that we can reprogram our subconscious thoughts. Like, there's literally machines that show the regions in our brain changing when we have and hold different thoughts. And I have emphasis on the hold, because holding and repeating the thoughts and attaching them to a feel-good emotion is what actually starts to make the physical changes in our body and in our minds. So as I quickly mentioned, yesterday I wasn't having a really good day, and what I really wanted to do was use that bad day as an excuse to go home from work early. Now, this is the first day back of work for me for 2026. I wanted to go home early. I wanted to, eat chocolate. I wanted to get takeaway. I wanted to be a bit woe is me. I wanted to skip my exercise class and sleep in. I wanted to, what else did I want to do? I wanted to watch Below Deck all night with Luke, stay up late. And it would have been so easy to do that. Would it have made me feel any better? Absolutely not. And I'm so proud of myself yesterday because I did not allow myself to do any of those things. Instead, I thought I need to prioritize my mindset. I'm so dedicated to waking up tomorrow feeling clearer, feeling more optimistic and more positive. So what I did is I set my alarm early. I went to an exercise class. I did not allow myself to eat the huge packet of Maltesers sitting right in front of me. And guys, I'm all for treating yourself 100%. But for me, I already had a headache that day. I was already feeling crap. For me, it wasn't honoring myself that day, right? You've got to figure out where you're at, and you will know how to honor yourself or not. And sometimes we kind of just let that go because it's easier, but you need to ask yourself, is today a day where I need to go easy on myself, or is today a day where I really need to prioritize my mindset and make changes so that the flow and effect can be so much better for me? And it was one of those days for me. I went to bed early instead of watching Below Deck, and I meditated, journaled, and did a card reading before bed. What all of this did, eating a bit healthier, exercising, not allowing myself to sit in the negativity, instead meditating, journaling, and doing a card reading. Oh my gosh, guys, I cannot tell you how much better I woke up feeling. And I know that was a result of the work that I did yesterday, even though it would have been so easy to go, it's going to be easier just to, woe is me all day. So a reminder, your mindset is everything. Only you have the choice and the power to change your mindset. When you change your mindset, your outer reality actually has a chance to bend and shape in a different way that suits you more. Remember that when we are thinking negatively, we are bringing that negativity into our lives in its physical counterpart, whether that's a person, whether that's a block or a fear that shows up. It's all the same. So whether it's honoring your goals, like yesterday, right? I had these little goals, and on the first day back at work, by going, throwing it all in because I was feeling a bit sad, is that honoring myself and who I want to be in 2026? Absolutely not. Are there days where your goals will be put to the side because it's really needed? 100%. But for me, yesterday, it was not an option. So ideas for you when you are feeling like that: meditation, journaling, card reading, as simple as honoring the goals or the steps that you have written down for yourself or promised yourself for 2026, listening to podcasts, booking in a therapy session. I went to acupuncture yesterday. That was something else that I did to really honor my mindset. So mindset is everything. Start treating it like it is. When you are confused, when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling stressed, go back to your mindset first, and things can flow on from there. Another couple of ones before we move on: speaking kindly to yourself, reading instead of scrolling, and asking yourself, what does the version of me, the next version of me, the version who is happy, who is successful, who is feeling free, what would they do in this moment? That will give you your answer. So step 1, mindset is everything. Start treating it like it is. Step number 2 is to create space. Magic needs space to land. And In this day and age, we are so busy. We are going from one place to the next. In any spare minute we have, we are making plans to fill the next space that we have free. We are voice messaging our friends. We are making appointments. We are scrolling on our phone. We are listening to a podcast. Whatever it is we are doing, we are filling space. But magic, ideas, synchronicities, signs from the universe, creative ideas need space to land, so you need to create that space. Think of when you were a kid. You had space and time to be bored. Do we allow ourselves to be bored these days? Not really. So over the holidays, I allowed myself space to be bored again. And what I was reminded of is back when Luke and I were living in our apartment. So it was like the years where we got engaged and married, obviously pre-Indigo. I was, oh my gosh, guys, I was at my spiritual height. When I tell you I could close my eyes, go into a meditation within a few minutes, I was in a completely different world. Like I had done so much practice and I was so powerful within the realms of meditation. It was incredible. What I look back on was that I actually allowed myself space and time to get to that point. I'm not just talking with meditation. I'm talking, I would constantly go on walks where I had no end. Like I wasn't just going on the same walk every day. I would go and explore. I would get lost. If I felt like stopping and sitting under a tree, I would. I would look up at the clouds. I would let myself just be. And when I look back, that's when Pass Around the Smile started to take off, because all of these creative ideas were coming, all of these signs, these synchronicities. When I think back to my most magical stories, I literally one day was at the beach. I was at the top of this lookout, and I saw these huge red I don't think I've ever told this story, kind of like bulbs of light in the sky. And I thought, oh, they're just sunspots. So I like blinked and blinked and blinked. They wouldn't go away. And then I'd move my eyes and I'd go back and they were still there. And I just knew it was my angels. It was my nan. It was it was so strong. That experience only happened for me because I allowed space for it to happen, because my mind was so clear that I was open to guidance and I was open to seeing these things. Now, if I was texting as I was walking, or if I was listening to a podcast even, and I know I'm like literally promoting my own podcast. I'm like not promoting my own podcast now, but I don't care. I'm more like, I want your mindset to be stronger, is that I would have missed that. And even if I wasn't doing anything and I thought, I'm just going to give myself 5 minutes to look around, wait for a sign, it's not long enough. I wouldn't have had that clarity and that full-blown peace in my mind to connect with my intuition that much, to see that, to experience that experience. Do you know what I mean? So we can't kind of just go, oh, I'm just going to try it for a second, or I'm just going to do this. It's a state of mind that needs to be consistent over weeks, over months, over years. Now, I don't want to say, this is going to take years. I never want you guys to think, nah, this is just too much hard work. I don't have time. I'm not consistent enough, blah, 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 blah. Yes, you are. You get to decide today to make this change. We are all just as intuitive as each other. We just need to create space. So what I realized is, and if you've listened to the Pass Around the Smile podcast a lot, you will know that I have really got out of touch with my meditation and spirituality, like connection to the spiritual world and my higher self after birth and beyond. And I haven't got back to that state that I used to be able to get to with meditation. Now, I know this is because I haven't practiced it. But over the Christmas holidays, I did a walk where I had no time limit and I allowed myself to get lost. I did listen to some beautiful music. I did my walking meditation, which is in my New Year course. But then I kind of turned it off and I kind of just sat by the lake. And then when I really felt that sense of peace and calm wash over me, I was walking and I said, Nanny Waters, Grandma Valerie, Nana Cheryl, I really need a sign from my 3 feminine angels, my 3 feminine powers. Please send me a sign. I felt really connected. You can't make this stuff up. I'm walking and a pine cone falls in front of me. And I was like, that's cool, because I literally just asked for a sign. I look up and there are 3 cockatoos right above me. Now, usually I don't like birds. So usually I'd be like, ma, but cockatoos are quite beautiful. I've always thought they were beautiful. And then I Google it straight away, the spiritual meaning of cockatoos, and it said connection to the spiritual world. And I was like, wow. And then I just kind of surrounded myself and kept walking back and forth, and they kept dropping pine cones. And I felt so connected to my angels at that time. And it just, the rush of energy, of support and of connection that just confirmed to me that you are on the right path, Cleo. You are protected. They are there. You're not making this up. And you do have the power to create space to allow these magical things to happen. Now, if I had just rushed out, Luke, I really need to exercise. I'm going for a quick walk to get my steps in. I really need to do my walking meditation because it's part of my New Year course. I guarantee that that wouldn't have happened. But because I really set out a good 2 hours, I said, Luke, I really need this. Like, you need to be with Indigo. And he's like, yes, like go and just have the time that you need and don't rush back. So I knew that. And I had asked for that space. I'd created that space out of my day for my mindset to create space. Not only did that beautiful sign from my angels happen, but the creative ideas that I had for my tour, which has been quite blocked in December, that came to me on that walk, was like, it's like, you know, in those movies where they just go, oh, it's all come together and I'm getting ideas. You get to create that for yourself. So create space so the universe actually has a chance to co-create with you. Let your guard down. Stop resisting. Create space in your day, in your weeks. If you need to schedule it in, schedule it in. In that balance exercise, Luke and I also set a little schedule and some goals for ourselves so we could both have time to work on ourselves, our mindset, and be in 2026. And I feel like this is going to change everything. So silence in your life allows those ideas, the signs, the synchronicities, answers. If you are feeling blocked, if you are lacking clarity, the silence and the stillness that you have every right to create for yourself, and you can, even if you're thinking, I don't have time. Yes, you do, because your mindset is number one, remember? So you need to create time. All right. Step number 3 is feel the fear and do it anyway. You know how I take you through the behind the scenes of my tour every single episode until I go on tour in May? I'll just bring this into this lesson here now because I have never felt so fearful of something, guys. This tour is the biggest thing that I've ever done, and I can't lie, most nights when I'm falling asleep, I have a rush of anxiety and fear and I want to cancel the whole thing. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And I've mentioned to you guys, it's very similar to the feeling I got when I was pregnant, where I was like, I have no choice but to have this baby. This is like, I have no choice but to do this tour because I've booked it in. If we don't do things that scare us, if we don't push ourselves, we are going to regret it. Now, I listened to this podcast a while ago. I can't remember who it was, but she was saying that when people don't know, I should probably say that in the next, it doesn't matter. But when people don't know their life purpose, their next step, if you're feeling really blocked on who you are, on what you actually need to make yourself happy, you need to feel the fear and just take the next step anyway. The next step might not feel completely right. It might not make complete sense, but look at my journey. Pass Around the Smile, the blog. I was like, whatever, like, sure, it's kind of fun, I guess, a little bit, but like, it wasn't that big wahoo moment. It wasn't, I don't know, it was just a tiny step in the whole process that led me to who I am today and who I was always meant to be. I had no idea back then. You want to be the best at whatever it is that you are doing. Give yourself 100% over to where you are right now. Show yourself and the people around you how good, how motivated, and how unstoppable you as a human can be in whatever area you are in at the moment. What that will do is it will create momentum. It will create that energy that is literally magnetic to other people and experiences and opportunities, right? When you start to create that momentum, even if you are creating that momentum in an area in your life which doesn't feel quite right, doesn't feel like the finish line, doesn't feel like your life purpose, I guarantee you this will lead you to the next step and the next step and the next step. You will be recognized as someone who is motivated, who is hardworking, who is passionate, who is open and willing to do things to find themselves, to find yourself at the next step. You may not know what your next step is, so be the best at what you are doing now. And I'm not saying burnout. I'm not saying give yourself, over to this job or experience completely, but do your best. Do your best so the people around you see what you are capable of. And then also what that does is it shows you what you don't like. If you become the best at your casual job right now, you might think, oh my gosh, I hate the accounting side of this. I hate when I have to do the emails and the computer stuff, but gosh, I love being creative. And then because you give yourself over to that creative part, even though you try your hardest in every area, someone will pick up what you're putting down, the universe say, and you'll grab on, you lead on from that to the next step and move into something there. Remember, rejection is just redirection as well. And rejection, I really do believe, is such a positive thing. You're going to roll your eyes. And I'm rolling my eyes at myself right now, because if I was to say to 25-year-old Cleo, rejection is great. It just means that you are moving forward, because rejection gives you a chance to redirect. It gives you a chance to go, okay, well, that's not working, so I'm going to try this. Take the rejection as a form of help. Your perception creates, bends, and shapes your reality. If you perceive rejection as a showstopper, as something negative, as everyone hates me, as I'm not good at this, then that's your reality. If you perceive it as great, okay, that's my answer for that, I'm going to try this instead. Or that's so exciting because now I know that's a no, I might contact this person, or I might just move in this direction. You are getting closer to the version of you that you were always meant to be. Trust me. You have to feel the fear and take the next step. You don't need to see the whole staircase, just the next step. Now, I am practicing what I preach at the moment with this tour. So I am asking you as my smileys to do the same. You don't want to get to the end of your life and look back at regret. And you don't want to think, what if I did that? What if I tried that? You never know where it's going to take you. You never know who you might meet. You never know who you might become or what opportunity you might gain. You just don't know. And that's what can be so exciting in 2026 for you and beyond, whenever you are listening to this. Remember, with fear, we don't have to eradicate it. We don't have to eliminate fear altogether. You don't need to meditate constantly on releasing your fears and moving forward. What we sometimes kind of need to do is, yes, if they're seriously holding you back, it's always good to acknowledge and release, yes. But we have to realize that we will always have fear in our lives. So it's almost like we want to become fear's friend. I am becoming fear's friend at the moment. I am literally holding hands with fear and walking alongside it. I've stopped resisting fear and instead I'm embracing it with this tour, right? I know that the fear is going to keep showing up, and when I'm on tour, it is going to be right there, very loud and in my face. Instead, I get to switch it and see it as exciting. And remember that fear wants to keep us safe, but we have the choice to let fear keep us safe and small, not allowing us to move forward, or we get to allow that fear to, show us what we don't want and don't need, but then choose to take that fear as a sign that fear, false evidence appearing real, it's not actually real, it's just trying to keep me safe, and I'm going to take that as a sign that exciting things are always on the other side of fear. If we just stayed comfortable in our comfort zones, nothing would change. So I urge you to take that next step, feel the fear, and do it anyway. Fear often means things are expanding and changing, by the way. You know how I talk about miracles? Often we quit as humans right before the miracle occurs. That's because so much fear comes up right before your manifestations land. It's kind of like the universe is like, are you ready? I'm just testing you because it's coming. And very often as humans, we'll go, oh God, this is feeling very unknown and very big. So instead, I'm actually going to let that fear keep me safe and go, actually, no worries. Don't worry. I'm just going to stay comfortable. I'm just going to be here with my little life and don't worry. And then the universe is like, okay, well, we'll move that dream on. You got to grab it. You got to grab it. If you're watching the video, that doesn't look very good. Okay, so step number 4 is something that I've heard a lot from my community lately and myself, which is clarity. Now, titled this one, Clarity Comes from Movement, Not Overthinking. How easy is it to step into overthinking when we are not clear on something? We think, oh my God, I just have to figure this out. I just have to force the result of this into my life. Now, yes, when you are lacking clarity, you want to create that space, that stillness, so the ideas can come in. And yes, that requires thinking. But the thinking feels different. When you are in a space of calm, of peace, in a meditative state, it doesn't really feel like forceful thinking. It feels like receiving, right? If you are literally sitting there going, okay, I'm really going to try and think how I can make this work. I need to think of a creative idea. Already it's not putting the right energy out into the universe, right? And we can all tell, like, it's pretty simple. So what you want to do is realize that clarity comes from movement, because when we are moving forward, we are creating that momentum. You want to think of the energy inside of our bodies literally moving. If we are sitting still and just expecting ideas to land, if we are forcing those ideas into our mind, they're either not going to come, or they're going to be misaligned with who we are, with what we want, with our values and beliefs. So what we want to do is continue to move forward. This is why I love walking meditations, because you are literally walking forward, imagining your energy moving with you. You are moving that energy around your body, and you are leaving what you no longer want or what's holding you back behind you. The walking meditation in my New Year course, I actually loved. It brought me to tears. So I probably should have said this in the last step about fear, but I feel like it kind of comes into this step about clarity as well, is that a lot of people wait until they don't feel scared to start. But let me tell you, that day won't come. A lot of people wait until they feel totally clear to move forward. But what I want to tell you is, a lot of the time that won't come while you are still, while you are waiting to start, because your energy that is waiting to respond to you is like waiting for you to give it the go ahead. Do you see what it's like? It's like a cycle. The universe is waiting for you to start, so it actually has something to respond to. So give the universe a chance to co-create with you. Start moving, create that momentum, so the universe has something to grab onto. If you don't know what your next step is, create time and space to gain that clarity. When we have clarity, it is so much easier to move forward, and it feels so aligned. If you don't have that clarity yet, just start moving on something. Say yes to an opportunity presented to you. Yes, if your gut is saying like totally no, I'm all for like listening to your heart and your gut. But if you need to understand if it's your gut saying no or if it's fear saying no. And if it's fear saying no, it's just trying to keep you safe and small. I have a whole episode on like working out whether it's your gut or fear, which you can scroll back to. But, you know, clarity really is about following curiosity over pressure. So if you feel pressure or forced energy, it's not right. But if you're curious about something, give it a go. If it ends in rejection, great. Well, then what else? You're further along than you would have been if you didn't start. So creating that clarity is really important. Step 5, self-worth. Stop putting other people on pedestals. I listened to a podcast again ages ago. I can't remember who it was. It's coming to me now. She was a business lady. Oh, I feel bad now that I don't know. I think it's like a well-known quote anyway, but she said one of her favorite quotes are, "You are no better than anyone else, and no one is any better than you." And I really love that. And it's a reminder that we are all one. It's like the law of divine oneness. We are all connected. We are all one. That quote really allows me to take a big breath of fresh air and go, we are all one. We're all connected. We're all here to support each other. There's enough dreams and desires and good luck and good news out there for everyone. When we put other people on pedestals, we are saying to the universe or whoever you believe in, I am separate to that person. I am far away from them. I don't deserve the kind of happiness and love and success and money and health that they get because I am below them. I am separate to them. But you are not. You are no better than anyone else, and no one is better than you. We are all one. We are all the same. What we can do is we can respect others while still recognizing your power, your capabilities, and that you are enough just the way you are. When you finally believe that and recognize that, your energy becomes a match for other people who feel the same. When you become a match for other people who honor their worth, how beautiful it is to be surrounded by those people. How beautiful it is to get job opportunities from people who honor themselves, who have similar values and beliefs. That's when everything becomes effortless and starts to fall into place. This is the energy supporting you in what it is that you want. Sorry, I said the energy, but the universe. I guess it's the same thing. But you want to tell the universe what it is that you want. And that comes from clarity. That comes from putting your mindset first. See how all this kind of flows together? And then naturally your self-worth rises. It's all well and good to be inspired by other people. But the minute you stop worshipping other people is the minute that the universe will meet you at the energy that you are at. Worship yourself. Be inspired by others, of course, but never put anyone above you and never put anyone below you, of course. So I think we'll stop there. They were the 5 lessons. So going over them, we had step 1, your mindset is everything, so treat it like it is. What do you need to do to put your mindset first right now? Watch your outer reality change when you honor yourself by doing the things that nourish your mindset. Me yesterday, oh my gosh, I didn't make huge changes. All I did was I meditated, literally a 10-minute meditation. I did a card pull. I went to bed early and I booked in an exercise class. Those things, when I really was I just want to be negative, changed everything for my future version of myself, which was myself today. I'm loving doing this podcast right now. I'm feeling so inspired. So, that you can do that too. You have the power to do that. Step 2, create space. You will miss signs, opportunities, synchronicities, creative ideas, people. You could literally walk past the love of your life if you are so distracted by the loudness, the busyness, the chaoticness. Is chaoticness a word? I don't think so. Of life. If you are distracted by all that, if you are allowing all of that to kind of lead you in life, you are going to miss the beautiful things that the universe has for you. So honor yourself by creating that space. Number 3, step 3, feel the fear and do it anyway. Do the things that you want to do even though you are scared. Figure out if it's your gut saying no or if it's fear saying no. I have an episode on that. Scroll back if you haven't listened or listen again. Step 4, clarity comes from movement, not overthinking. We don't want to sit, force, and overthink things. We want to allow our mind space to actually gain the clarity to our next best step. Do things, try things, be the best at things, and not be the best in things as in compete with others. Be the best version of yourself doing that thing so that you are proud of the work that you put in. And I'm not saying hustle. I'm not saying work so hard either. I think you know what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? The last step 5 is self-worth. Stop putting others on a pedestal. You are no better than anyone else and nobody is better than you. Thank you so much, beautiful, beautiful smileys, for another Pass Around the Smile episode. Thank you so much, my beautiful smileys, for listening to another Pass Around the Smile episode. The tour is coming along. There have been ups, there have been downs. I didn't touch on it too much in this episode, but I'll keep touching on the behind the scenes. But my gosh, it has taken a lot of mindset to stay positive and optimistic and not just fall into the fear of being nah, this is too hard. But I just want to say a huge thank you to Britt for sponsoring this episode. She's from With Purpose Fitness and Confidence Coaching. All of her links are in the bio. Thank you so much, my smileys. Remember to follow, subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening. It really helps me to keep creating content, and join the Facebook group if you like. I love you all.